The day is Friday, January 16th. By the time you're watching this, who knows, might be Saturday the 17th. Words are about to come out of my mouth that I never imagined I would say, at least not for a long time. Definitely not in 2026. And those words are Michigan might be stacked at wide receiver. The wide receiver room is not only crowded, it might be loaded. I'm going to get into the Salesi Moa commitment. I hate to ruin the surprise if you didn't know Salesi Moa just committed to the Wolverines. Got to take a break from that and just give props to Kyle Whittingham and the staff, to Micah Simon, to Jason Beck. The transformation that they've been able to put together of this wide receiver room over the course of what feels like just a few days, unbelievable. Like nothing we ever saw under Jim Harbaugh, definitely nothing we ever saw under Sharon Moore. As for Moa himself, Michigan fans have wanted him for a while. We did not think it would happen this way. We definitely didn't think it would happen along this timeline. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to talk about his impact, how I think Michigan will use him, where he will be. Before I do, I just asked that if you're a Michigan fan, you like the video, you sub to the channel because I'm going to be talking Michigan football year round, the rest of the portal, any commitments that might come, that might not come, any guys that might leave or might stay. Portal actually closes tonight. We may still see some entries the next couple days though, because schools sometimes take 48 hours after a player is entered to send them out there. That's neither here nor there. I want to talk about Salesi Moa. First question a lot of people are going to ask, is he a cornerback? Is he a safety? Is he a wide receiver? Even the Polynesian guy, the bowl guy, doesn't know. He says, Moa, you're one of the best defensive backs in the country. And Moa says, he gives him that look. He wants to play wide receiver. I think he's going to play wide receiver at Michigan. I can see why a lot of people look at that DB room and think maybe he could help Michigan out. I think he's more likely to play wide receiver, and I'll tell you why. The reason he picked Utah to begin with, yeah, he liked the coaches. Yeah, his uncle was there. Michigan wanted him to play defensive back. He wanted to play wide receiver, so he chose Utah. I'm reading your mind right now. What you're thinking is Michigan wanted him to play defensive back so much that they turned like we're going to turn him down if you want to play wide receiver. Yeah, I don't get it either. It makes no sense. Michigan was down astronomically for wide receivers, and that was just a decision that Sharon Moore and Ron Bellamy and company had made that he was going to play defense. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Here's what I will say: he is the caliber of athlete, and he is the type of guy who has mentioned maybe possibly wanting to play both ways. So I think that is not going to be like a full time Travis Hunter type deal. What I think we could see is maybe as a freshman, he's wide receiver three. He's wide receiver 2/3, kind of going back and forth. And maybe Michigan gets a couple injuries in the DB room. A guy gets banged up. We get into third and long, third and 17, and we go to dime packages. If you don't know about dime packages, usually there are four corners on the field or three corners and whoever you play at nickel. So you'd have the two outside guys, the two slot guys. Maybe Moa comes in and plays one of those slot roles. Maybe he's equipped to do that. Maybe they feel like he's the best guy for that. Could 100% see a world where that happens. I think first and foremost, he projects as a slot receiver really, really well for the same reason that he's a really good corner. Just because he shifts really well, he changes direction on a dime, he reacts really well, and that's why people love him at DB because there's a lot of people that can change direction, but not a lot of people that can react. What I will say is whenever you have the football in your hands, people got to react to you. He's pretty good at that. I think he's really hard to cover as a wide receiver in the slot. I think if we get to day one of the Michigan season, we're hearing Salesi Moa is starting in the slot. Will you be surprised? Because I do want to talk about what this wide receiver room looks like overall. It's pretty clear to me, as of now, Andrew Marsh, wide receiver one. I think that's fair. I think everybody would agree. Don't think we're going to get any arguments. Waiting on that LFG 147 graphic, kind of wondering why it's not coming, but hey, portal's almost closed. Jamie French is the guy a lot of people would look at you and say is likely wide receiver two right now, just in a perfect world, drawing up a depth chart. JJ Buchanan is certainly in the mix. You can argue, is he a wide receiver two? Is he a tight end? It's fuzzy if we're just being honest, right? We don't really know. We don't really know how they're going to use him. I think it's going to be a little bit of both. There's the possibility that a guy like Travis Johnson emerges. Highly recruited. Same class as Moa coming in. Maybe he wins the coaches over. I think Mo is better, but I also think Travis Johnson is a pretty polished, pretty ready to play type guy. I think he could get into the lineup. There is Jamar Browder out of X, who very different than Moa. Moa can do some stuff on the outside. He can win. He can go up and get jump balls, but he's not Jamar Browder in that realm, if you know what I mean. He's not a 6'5" jump out of the gym type guy. As for Channing Goodwin, I would say Moa is a guy that I would project to be immediately over Channing Goodwin. The other guys are question marks. We don't know how they're going to develop, how they're going to emerge, what they're going to look like in the system. I think Moa, pretty comfortable over Goodwin. Been wrong before, but I really believe in this kid from what I've been able to watch on film. I think he's a really talented player. So that's how I'm looking at the wide receiver room right now. Marsh, French, Buchanan, Browder, Travis Johnson, Moa. Not necessarily in that order. Just that's kind of the order we've acquired them, if you will. If we're talking next portal moves for Michigan, guys, I think we've about wrapped it up on offense. Okay, uh, I take that back. We'll probably get another addition on offense, and it probably will be offensive line depth at some point. The roster is sitting around 107, 108 people. The limit's 105. So some guys are going to have to leave. I hate to say that, but yeah, there's going to be some guys that have to go. As for defensive additions, you wouldn't hate to see a corner. You wouldn't hate to see a safety, a linebacker, a D tackle. You'd actually really prefer a defensive tackle. There's been some smoke around both TJ Daugherty and Arian Carter. I haven't heard anything about Daugherty. I haven't heard Michigan interested at all, other than some people saying they should be interested in him, which is completely fair. And then Arian Carter put out a statement basically saying, I would kind of like to stay in the SEC, but I would consider going anywhere, which is code for Michigan, maybe throw a bag at me and we'll see. So we will see what they're going to do about linebacker. My guess is they're going to do something at linebacker. There's some smoke. It's going to be a young Big Ten player that everybody's just being super secretive about. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's a guy out of the draft. We'll have to wait and see. But as for now, Salesi Moa comes in. Aisi Moa, his brother, is a linebacker. Do I think he's going to be that linebacker one for Michigan? No, I don't. Uh, I do imagine he's going to commit to Michigan though, unless he maybe goes to the group of five or something of that nature where he wants to be like the guy. So we'll see there. But as for now, we get Salesi Moa. The wide receiver room is absolutely stacked. Michigan gets their guy that they have been chasing for forever. And Kyle Whittingham gets his guy that actually committed to him. So congrats to him. Utah fans are acting like this is the craziest case of tampering of all time. In reality, Salesi Moa had kind of let us know from the jump. I'm going to see how these coaching staffs shake out. I'm going to give Utah a chance to get their guys in. I'll meet them. I really like Coach Simon, though. I really like Coach Beck and Coach Whittingham. I really like my uncle. And that's how it played out. He ended up going over to those guys. No shock here at all. Salesi Moa, though, a Michigan Wolverine. Massive win on the recruiting trail for Michigan, for Kyle Whittingham. Let me hear it in the comments. Again, like this video, sub to the channel. I will be pumping out Michigan football content. And tomorrow, college football content, national championship preview and prediction. Let me hear it in the comments. Who do you guys got?